I've spent a lot of time in Hebrews 11 particularly, where the Apostle Paul is saying in verse 6, without faith it's impossible to please God. For he that comes to God must believe that he is, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Now, there's an awful lot implied in that verse, because we all know that we're saved by faith. I mean, that's the big thing about our evangelical message, isn't it? Salvation by faith, not by works, but by faith. It's not what we do, it's not the religious ceremonies, as unfortunately some religious groups teach, but we're saved simply in faith that Christ died for us and that he atoned for our sin. And so we are saved by faith. But it goes much deeper than that, because faith is not just the moment of our salvation. Faith has much more in it than that, because we need to live by faith. We need to act by faith. We need to be filled with faith. And you know, faith is something basically, it's very easy to describe a limited amount of faith. For example, when you get onto your bed, I'm sure you're not like me. My wife always used to accuse me because I used to almost throw myself onto the bed instead of just getting in gently. But it was in the knowledge the bed wouldn't collapse. And when you get out of bed, it's in faith that your house hasn't collapsed under you. We travel in our cars by faith. We cross the road by faith. But that is a very basic element of life. But it has to be translated into every aspect of our Christian experience. In other words, what the Scripture is teaching us is that we have to apply faith. Now, come on, you may not have heard that before. We have to apply faith to every aspect of our lives. You see, in the previous chapter, chapter 10, Paul, who's speaking obviously about his sufferings and so on, and yes, I'm not going to go into that. But in verse 35, he says something quite strong. He says, cast not away your confidence, which has great recompense of reward. So here, he's typifying faith in a different way. Faith is a confidence. Because we think of faith in so many different ways. I have faith that I'll be healed. We have faith. The reason I see so many miracles, I've experienced miracles, is by faith. But yet, let me challenge you, faith is more than that. It's the confidence that we have in our Christian walk. And you know, there's a lot of difference between people who step out, and you can watch them almost in the street if you do a bit of people watching, as I do sometimes. You see people meandering along, almost aimless. There are people who are meandering along because they're preoccupied. But then there are those who we would describe them as they step out in confidence. You know what I mean, don't you? Faith should be that kind of confidence that when we get out of bed in the morning, we are confident that God is with us. When we open the front door and step out into today's life, whatever it is, we have a confidence. And you know, I think that's one thing that boosted my life, bolstered, if you like, supported and strengthened my life, is that confidence in God. That even when I was in prison, I was confident that God would deliver me. That when I had the cancer twice, I was confident that God would deliver me. Do you understand? I'm using a different word to faith. Faith, I think faith is so often misunderstood, misinterpreted. And that's why I like that way that Paul says, it's a confidence. Don't throw away your confidence, because that confidence has a great reward.